With so much drama around the league, so much drama around the Brooklyn Nets, and so much drama around Kyrie Irving and Ben Simmons, but through all the hate, lots of jokes, the ups and the downs, one has remained even keeled, and that is Kevin Durant. Being on a 7-game win streak, going 10-1 over the last 11 games, the Brooklyn Nets are starting to get things going and currently sit at the 4th seed in the Eastern Conference. When you have two stars in Irving and Durant on a team, along with Ben Simmons who is working to get into his full self, it's hard not to be competitive, and although people were writing them off, I certainly think they can shake the league up a little. Carrying a huge load for the team offensively, if the system continues to run a lot through Kevin Durant, he's on pace to have the highest usage rate in his career as he sits at 31.1 this year and his career high is 32.2. All throughout his career, KD has made it look effortless when he's out there on the court, and usually when players are in the league for a while and get older, we can see a regression start to happen, and if you don't believe me, please go look up Kevin Durant's draft class and you'll see exactly what I mean. But with KD, it's like he's becoming more sharp and polished on the court, and he's on track to have a great season, pouring it in from everywhere on the floor. There's really nowhere Durant can't score from since he's so versatile, and it doesn't matter who you throw out there to guard him, KD can still get the job done. Whether he's pulling up over the defense in the mid-range, taking it for himself in transition to rise up from 25 feet, or just getting past defenders to dunk it, Durant is no joke when he steps on the hardwood and causes the defense tons of problems. Putting up 30 points a night on 67% true shooting percentage, if KD keeps dropping in the buckets at the same rate and efficiency to end the season, that will be the highest true shooting percentage in NBA history for a player who averages 30 points. Now, as we all know, as I stated earlier, KD can go to work in any area on the court, but when you dive deeper into how he gets to his spots and scores the ball, it's truly a work of art. Standing at 6'10", it grants KD a huge advantage as he can shoot over a lot of defenders, and in the mid-range this season, we have seen that in full effect. Right behind DeMar DeRozan in mid-range shots per game, KD puts up 7 a night, and amongst all players with 5 or more mid-range attempts per game, KD has the highest percentage at 57.3%. Now the stats are one thing, and we could talk about those all day long, but when it comes to really talking about basketball, me and you both know you must pass the eye test. After watching most of Brooklyn's games this season, KD is passing the eye test for sure, and he might be doing some extra credit. Having the ability to rise up in that in-between area gets you these easy looks a lot of the time as openings like this are presented to you. Watch as KD comes off the screen, Koloko keeps backpedaling instead of stepping up, and KD just gets the easy money. I mean, but trust me, when you're a high-profile sniper, you don't always get the easiest looks on the floor, but even when you throw a 7-2 Bobo to contest KD, he can still fade back being heavily contested and knock it down. Now, we all know the basic one-dribble pull-up, whether it's coming off a screen or Durant just taking it past the defender, but the actual way KD eases into his shot is with his ability to work out the triple threat. The length alone makes it hard to bother Durant, and if you give him any space, it's going to be too late for you to even get a hand up. With a lot of swing throughs, jabs, and the up fakes, all it takes is one move for the defender to bite on, and KD can get into his motion, and the rest is history. Tatum is guarding Durant out near this wing, and as KD swipes through, Tatum tries to swipe down at the ball instead of just contesting, and it makes for an easy pull-up for 2. It's truly a game of chess, not checkers, when Durant works out that triple threat, and before you know it, he's already cashing in. If you throw slower footed bigs at him, well, it's pretty much a training session for KD as he can feed him the quick up fake into a strong jab to shift him out the way and then pull up from about 16 feet for the bucket. I know it gets real frustrating when you're really focused on stopping KD and then he just fools you with one of these fakes, and even when Durant is smothered, he can still use the footwork to get that smallest bit of space and advantage over the defense to connect on the easy bucket. As anyone that has shot a basketball knows, once you knock down 1 or 2 shots, you start to get in your groove, and for KD, this just unlocks his bag even more and he starts to dismantle the defense. He pulls out that creative handle when he's breaking down defenders, and it leaves them lost at times just watching the ball travel through the air to the basket. It might not be the flashiest handle that some guards possess, but Durant can tie together a combo that snatches the defense and elevates over them to sink the J. His length alone sells these crossovers so much, and he just shifts Wiseman to stop abruptly on a dime and knocks it down. Once Durant gets your momentum going one way, he just goes back the other or stops abruptly so you can be off balance, and when you're stuck recovering, he's already shooting. He teaches the Rook a lesson by snatching back hard on the attack downhill, which sends Banchero flying, and as Durant is already in motion, Paolo tries to contest, but instead KD knocks it down and is headed to the line to shoot another one. Now these moves that create tons of room aren't always the outcome, as at times defenders can hound Durant and make it much more difficult, but even with Grant Williams bodying up with KD on the attack, it's just good defense, better offense, and Durant puts 2 on the board. These difficult shots are no surprise to really see, as KD has been doing this pretty much his whole career, but we all must appreciate it, as we don't really see too many make it look this effortless when they're on the court. Just the other night versus Golden State, Durant had these 2 pull-ups that made the defense look non-existent, as here he pushes up the floor right at the defense, and what looks like it will be 3 but ends up being 2 defenders contesting Durant, he just drops it in like no one was around. Then as he attacks off this left wing, Kuminga starts to rotate for the help, so KD gets right into his defender's body to bounce off and create space, and with 2 hands right in his face, Durant is locked in and drains the bucket. I know, right? It's not really much you can do. You can throw the double, but Durant will find a way to get the shot off. If you let him ISO, well, you're just asking for KD to score the bucket, and then even if you play solid D, it's most likely no match and Durant will rack up the points. I know there's a handful of people that are effectively shooting it in the mid-range this season, but to me, KD is doing it so smoothly that I have to put him at the top of the top. He can throw out step backs, work out the triple threat, post up to fade over defenders, and all around make tons of difficult shots. If you've been watching this season, then you probably can attest to this, but you want to know something that's actually probably flying under the radar to most people? Well, it's how good KD is finishing at the rim. On all layups and dunks this season, Durant has converted nearly 78% of his 81 attempts, and it's undeniable when setting his mind to go get to the rim. That mid-range is so deadly, it'll have defenders overplaying at times, and then KD can break off to go finish elusively at the basket. But sometimes KD lets his frustrations out on the rim, as here he maneuvers himself and the ball in midair around the contact and slams this home with 2 hands. It's really best you stop him before he gets these strides towards the rim started, and even if you send a second defender, KD can use these up and unders to glide past the D to lay it in. His height and length make it so he doesn't have to lean on acrobatic finishes, but if needed, Durant can get creative and put the ball in the hoop. Those same handles KD uses to mix defenders up in the mid-range leads right into his driving, as he can get past defenders selling the attack one way and then blow past them the other and coast for the finish. Most people think KD is pretty weak, but trust me, when he's taking it in against the trees down low, Durant can control himself pretty well through the contact for the bucket. Overall, when he's putting the ball on the deck this season, KD is just attacking with more intent and is looking determined to get to where he wants to. It's a hot start for him down low, and as he keeps cooking the defense from the outside, it's only going to open up more opportunities for Durant to attack the paint. The defense certainly has to stay tight on Durant from the outside, as he knocks down 36% of his 4 attempts per game, and if he can get up to around 6 per game, things could start looking pretty scary. KD's pull-ups look quite effortless, whether they come within the flow of the offense, coming off an ISO, or when he's pushing up the floor and knocking it down over defenders. Just as his mid-range is hard to block, it's one and the same for his 3-point shooting, and when he uses the handle from the outside, he creates even more space to rise up from deep. Being highly effective from all 3 levels on the court makes Durant unpredictable, and when you match that with his height and decent handle, well, he's pretty much unstoppable. Durant can light any team up in various ways, and it's rare when he's fully knocked off his game. Sure, you're gonna have those nights or even stretches where things aren't really going your way, but when you're a superstar in this league, you tend to bounce back a lot quicker than most. For KD, he is doing everything he can to lead this Brooklyn Nets team in the right direction, and so far things are starting to look good over there. On his route to an amazing season, KD is doing it despite all the drama going on and is making it all look effortless. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to drop a like before you head over to watch this Kyrie Irving analysis. I thank you all for your support, and I'll see you in the next video.